All right, so we're going to be dividing decimals. So I started this off by talking about, again, we started decimals off by talking about fractions just being division. So let's see how that actually happens. Well, if we look at 3 divided by 4, or 3/4, we know that, well, many of you will know that this is the same as 0.75 or 75%. Or if you have 3/4, you have 75 cents, right? If you wrote that as a decimal, it was 0.75. That'll be a pretty easy transition for many of you. So that's why I want to start off with this example, because we know what the answer should be. Well, how do we actually divide these two numbers? Well, to do so, let's write in the traditional way that we do in America and Great Britain for dividing. We put the divisor, we put our dividend, and we look for our quotient. Well, normally when you do this, you said 4 goes into 3 how many times? 0. And you multiply that down, 0 times 4, it was 0. You subtract, you get a remainder of 3, and you'd be done, right? Okay, well, we're going to add something here. We're going to add a decimal because we're dividing decimals, right? And when we do that, we can just add zeros until we want to stop, honestly, or until it's necessary. So let's put a 0 there. Well, now we have something to bring down, so we got 30. How many times does 4 go into 30? Oh, that's right. It goes in 7 times. But we add a decimal down here, so we must do the same up here. Okay, let's continue on. 7 times 4 gives us 28. We subtract those two. We end up with 2. And we can stop there. Now let's keep going. Add a 0 there. We bring that down. We get 20. 4 goes into 20 5 times. So now, we multiply that down. We get 20. We got a remainder of 0. So we can keep going, but we already have a remainder of 0, so I keep going. And so we have 0.75. And we'll talk more about this when you're converting between fractions and decimals, because that was a fraction. But now we can see just how that works, and that's why I like to start off with this example. So 3/4, again, it's just 0.75. Oh, you were right. 3/4 is 0.75. That's cool. All right. Well, so that's dividing decimals. That's when we start off with two whole numbers to get a decimal answer. What happens if we start off with decimals already in our answer? Okay. So let's say, for instance, we had 5.1 divided by 3. Okay, 5.1 divided by 3. So we would start off by doing 3 into 5.1. Well, how many times does 3 go into 5? Okay, that's pretty simple, right? This looks the exact same, because it is right now. So 3 goes into 5. 1 time, 1 times 3, we get 3. We subtract. Great thing about a video is if you feel like it's going too fast, you can always slow it down, right? So we subtract, we get 2. What about this decimal that's here? Oh, we put it back up here at the top. We have something we can bring down. Bring down a 1. All right. How many times does 3 go into 21? Oh, that's right. 7. So 7 times 3 gives us 21. We subtract that, we get a 0. We can stop there. So 5.1 divided by 3 gave us 1.7. All right, good job. Cool. Okay, not bad. So it's easy still when this is still a whole number, right? Really no difference. What if this had a decimal instead? Okay, let's see what happens. Let's do this time 1.08 divided by 3.6. Okay, so we have 1.08 divided by 3.6. Okay, so 3.6 divided by, or 1.08 divided by 3.6. Okay, well, how many times does 3.6 go into 1? Just kidding, let's not do that. Instead, let's change this problem to be something a little more user-friendly. Let's change this by moving the decimal over. Let's change this to 36. Well, if we move the decimal over here, we should also do the same in a dividend. So this is going to be 10.8. All right, that tells us in our answer then we'll have a decimal here. Now this we can work with because this is just like what you did before. It's a whole number there. So I could let you just do this on your own, but let's work it out together so you can see how it's still the same. Well, how many times is 36 going to 10? 0 times. So if we were to multiply 0 times 36, we would get 0. We can subtract that, we get 10. Bring down to 8. How many times is 36 going to 108? So it goes in 3 times. Nice. 3 times 36 gives you 108. Let's try that. We get 0. Oh, look at that. It's just like what we did before, right? Okay, cool. So if you have a decimal in your divisor, all you have to do is move it over until you have a whole number here. The caveat, or thing you really need to remember, or the trick with that, is that if you move the decimal over here, you must move the decimal the exact same way in the dividend. If you don't, you're going to get an error. All right. That's pretty simple, right? Yeah. Remember, I try my best to make math simple because it is. It may not be easy all the time, but it still can always be simple. All right. And so that's how you divide with decimals. One thing, if you forget that you need to move the decimal over, what I like to do is keep it written in this form. Because remember, a fraction is just division. So what I would do to start off is I know the denominator needs to be a whole number in order for this to work regardless. So I would move the decimal over here. By doing so, I can now see that I move the decimal over this way to the right. I need to do the exact same thing up top. And so this will give me 10.8 divided by 36. So if you can remember, the denominator needs to be written as a whole number, and then you see how you move your decimal so that happens, it'll make dividing the top a lot easier. And even when things go a different way, so say it was like 0.004 down in the denominator, and you had 1,000 in the numerator. Well, you can move this over 1, 2, 3 times, move the decimal over here, which will be at the end, 1, 2, 3 times. And so we would get a ton of zeros, so 6 zeros over 4. And you could work from there. So that would be 1 million divided by 4 will be the same equivalent as doing 1,000 divided by 0.004. All right, so that's dividing with decimals. See you soon.